Hi, I'm Dr. Kara, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to assess your wrist mobility and strength, followed by some of my favorite ways to improve it. A common problem I run into with my patients is pain in the wrists, especially when I ask them to get on all fours or the tabletop position. Why? There are many reasons, but commonly the bones and muscles are not used to being loaded in the forearm, and we do not have optimal strength and mobility in our wrists. Wrists are an area of the body that are susceptible to fractures as we age from our bones getting weaker. Therefore, it's essential that we develop good strength throughout them to keep our grip strong and to be able to put pressure on them to push ourselves up. So let's get started with checking your wrists. The first test we're going to do is checking wrist flexion. So what I want you to do is extend your arms out in front and bend your wrists down, keeping the fingers straight. The goal here is 80 to 90 degrees. And then the next test we're going to do is checking the opposite. We're going to check wrist extension. So now you're going to bend the wrists up, and the goal here is 90 degrees. And then the last test I want you to do is check your fingers and see how you can spread your fingers. Can you spread your fingers? Are they shaky? Can you spread them apart? And then also, can you flex your fingers and make a complete fist? If you have difficulty opening and closing your hand, that's what we want to know here. And also how much mobility you have at the wrist. And the next exercise to do is working on finger splay. So if you had a hard time spreading your fingers or it's shaky when you do that, then you want to start working on that by spreading the fingers apart, holding it for about 5 seconds, and then bringing them back in. And just repeating that about 10 to 20 times. Doing these exercises daily is going to help you stretch out in between the fingers and get you using these little muscles in between the fingers that are called the interossei muscle. Um, you're just moving in and out and in and out. So that's a great thing to do. You can do your foot muscles with it. At the same time, you can splay those toes and do your toes. My toes are actually doing it with my hands because it's similar, right? So just spreading and then bringing them in. And now the next exercise that's really good, if you had a difficult time trying to close your hand, then we want to do what's called tendon gliding. And the first thing that I want you to work on is making a hook fist. So hook fist finger curls, you're just going to try and just curl the tips. And then you're going to reverse that. And you want to try to keep that wrist neutral so you can kind of hold your wrist here. And then you're just going to try and curl those fingers and then extend. And I want you to do that about 10 times. Just curling the fingers and extending. If they're not closing, you just do the best you can. Just do what you can tolerate 10 times. Now you're going to do a straight fist. So I want you to try just bringing the fingers, straight fingers down and then extend. And again, I want you to do about 10 of those on each side, just making straight fist with the fingers 10 times. Now you're going to add the thumb. So I want you to straight fingers and then try and close. So it's a straight fist with the thumb in, and try to bring the thumb in as far as you can and then open. So straight fingers, thumb in, and then open. And let's do 10 of those with the thumb. So you're doing about 10 reps of each, and you are reversing the pattern. So really focus on the reverse part as well when you're doing these. Flexing, thumb in, thumb out, and then extend. Now we're going to combine the hook fist to the straight fist. So we're going to curl those fingers and come down and then reverse. So hook fist to straight fist to a complete fist. and then open. And I want you to do 10 of those. And then the next progression here is adding the thumb. So hook fist to straight fist and then thumb in. And you do 10 of those. And 10 is just a guide. If you do 5, that's great too. Just important to get the fingers moving every day, gliding these tendons. There's sheaths over the tendons in our fingers, and sometimes they can lose mobility and glide, and our fingers get stiff, and then we get pain in our hands. All right? And then next I want you to do that hook fist to straight fist and bring that thumb into complete fist, and then again working on reversing that pattern. I'm not sure if I said that, but I want to make sure that I just clarified that you do the hook fist to straight fist, thumb in, and then you focus on reversing that complete pattern. For you, then the next progression here is to shift right and left. So now you're just going to shift your weight over your hands, right and left. And if you're finding that your elbows are really bent and you can't get those fingers down, you just start where you are. You just put as much pressure as you can. And just if you need to work with the bent elbows, then you work with the bent elbows. But if you're okay here, then you're going to work on this for 1 minute, just going side to side. And now we're going to change, and we're going to bring palms down, fingers towards your knees, and we're just going to get in here. And so step 1 is just putting that pressure on there and just holding it here. So we're just going to hold here, and you are going to be in control of how much weight you put through the wrists and hands and into the fingers. So I'm going to get more of a stretch actually when I shift backwards. So if I shift my weight back, I want to try and press that palm down, and that's going to give me a good stretch through the carpal tunnel and forearm. And let me just show you what that looks like from the side so you can see better here. So as I shift back, I am now going to be really getting a good stretch in those finger and forearm flexors that spend so much time doing typing and texting, and they get really tight, and then we sleep like this and we get curled up, and that's what causes a lot of compression and wrist pain. So we want to open up those wrists by getting in this position, and just holding it here is a good way to start stretching and introducing some weight and stretch through here. I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to gain more mobility and strength to feel better in your body, I offer a free club membership where you can enroll to receive my weekly excerpts and more. Just click on the link in the description, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via text, email, or Instagram. Thanks for watching, and let's keep getting stronger and more mobile to live longer.